Hi there. I've been having a huge decluttering exercise. It's actually been ongoing at my house. So I've just been trying to get rid of stuff, from books, clothing, even the odd vinyl, furniture. So I've been filling up my car like once a week and heading down to the thrift shop to make my donations. So my latest drop, I decided to have a look at the vinyl section just in case if there's something that might catch my eye, or that odd gem that you might find. So I normally don't have any expectations whatsoever. So I was going through the vinyl and I was actually quite surprised at what I came across. So I want to share that with you. So the first album is Joan Baez's David's album. So that's the back here. So this album by Joan Baez is dedicated to her husband. She'd only had been married to David for a year, and what happened was he was sent off to prison because as I guess what back then you'd call it a draft dodger, people who resisted being drafted to fight in the Vietnam War. So I thought it was really interesting reading this, and I didn't know this, that in 1969 when this LP came out, there were 10,000 people who were sent to prison, and their prison sentences ranged from 3 months to up to 6 years because they were what they were called back then as draft dodgers. But needless to say, probably a lot of them were conscientious objectors. But anyhow, it's very interesting. She talks about that back here. And I love folk music, and in the 1960s the big folk singers were Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, and Bob Dylan. I only have one Joan Baez LP in my collection, so it was kind of nice to come across this one, and I played it. It's in very good condition, and to me it came across as a real country album, and it's fun, and it's really great. So I'm glad I found that. This one, Miss Saluba, it's a song by a Congolese choir, and so this Congolese choir is called, I'm really sorry for the French speakers out there, I hope I don't butcher this name, but they were called the Les Troubadours du Roi Baudin. And basically this choir was put together by a Belgian priest, and he identified that pure Congolese singing was a very important, valuable cultural heritage that needed to be preserved. So he put this choir together of 45 schoolboys, and so this choir, this LP came out in 1958, and this album was a really big hit. So the schoolboys, they actually went on a tour, a European tour in 1958 for about 6 months. So that was really interesting, that this was started and put together by a Belgian priest, a missionary in the Congo. So that's really cool to have. I mean, I love choral choir music. I find it really uplifting, and the game changer for me was watching The Thin Red Line, and it was a Hans Zimmer soundtrack. He did the soundtrack for it, and then he featured one Melanesian choir song, and it was really uplifting, and the choir is basically Solomon Island school children singing, so that's really cool. So this is another LP, or sorry, a mixed 12-inch maxi single, Mika Paris. So that's really cool, in great condition. So I like Mika Paris a lot. And here, Black Explosion, Ronco Black Explosion compilation. I mean, this compilation is pretty darn good. I mean, it has the Delphonics, and it has the Whispers, the Dells, Sly and the Family Stone, Barry White, Jimmy Ruffin, Isaac Hayes, OJ's, Johnny Nash, Stylistics, and that was a real surprise. The main ingredients, Everybody Plays the Fool. That's a great song, right? And a host of others, Aretha, Love Unlimited Orchestra, So it's really fantastic. So I got this, and also in great condition. It actually looked unplayed. And I have to say, I normally don't buy compilation albums. If I go to a record shop, I wouldn't buy a compilation LP. I just wouldn't. So, but maybe that'll change. Now this one was the killer for me. It was absolutely the killer. James Ingram's "It's Your Night." I think he's the most one of the most underrated R&B vocalists of all time. I love James Ingram. I've been a fan of James Ingram since he made his debut on Quincy Jones's The Dude LP. So James Ingram, you know, he sings Just Once, 100 Ways, which, by the way, he won a Grammy for as the best male R&B vocalist. That was back in 1981. So he's just awesome. So this, to me, I was just over the moon when I found it. This I thought was kind of fun, and what attracted to me was the title, the picture, and the information on the back. So basically, these two guys, they're basically singing ditties with the piano, and it reminded me very much of Noel Coward's music. And so these two guys, they were British public schoolboys. They went to the same school, Westminster, and they ended up in at Christ Church at Oxford University. And I thought, you know, it'd be kind of fun to buy this and to learn. You know, it's nice to discover and learn about new artists, new singers, and whatnot. So when I was at the thrift store and I was reading the information on the back, I mean, you know, I had to get this when I read that success has not changed them. They are still the same arrogant, self-opinionated pair they always were. Flanders has made it clear that he will not accept a peerage unless Swan gets a bishopric. I don't know what, I hope I've pronounced that. So basically maybe being anointed a bishop, I don't know, but that's a bit of a laugh there. So at the drop of a hat, Michael Flanders and Donald Swan, recorded 1959. So this is in excellent condition. A bit of fun. So this one's going to go right next to my Noel Coward LP. So Abba, right? This used to be, I'd say, a typical thrift shop find. If you're going back 5-10 years ago, you'd find lots of copies of Abba. But these days, you know, with Mamma Mia and the resurgence of vinyl, you know, these kind of LPs are actually, they've gone up in price. You know, $10, $15, right? So anyhow, I thought, well, you can't go wrong with Abba's greatest hit, right? So it's a bit of fun, and kind of nice. The gatefold, I thought, was pretty cool. And again, I was very surprised. This was in really good condition. And this one, again, I actually wouldn't buy this at a record shop. And this is a kind of like a typical thrift shop find. But I bought it because I thought, oh, you know, Karen Carpenter, you know, the Carpenters, she's got a beautiful voice. And I'd never seen this LP before, this kind of gold, the singles 1974 to 1978. So I got that, you know, because it was in really good condition again. So I got that. And then I decided to get this just based on the artwork. Trial by Jury. So it's a Gilbert and Sullivan opera. And I'm not really into their music, you know, the opera, but I have a couple of their LPs, like the Mikado, because of the artwork, because I think it's really wonderful, the illustrations or, you know, the paintings that they're using for their cover. So I thought this was kind of fun, you know, people in the court of law, and it looks quite dramatic, you know, ladies, you know, she's fainted or swooning, hugging the lawyer, the barrister. So I thought that was quite interesting. So just so you know, I got all of these for $4 total. So I wanted to save the best for the last, and I just couldn't believe it. In fact, this really should have cost $4.50, but the cashier at their thrift shop, she saw that I was buying so many LPs, she just said the lot for $4. So I was just gobsmacked, really. But so I think this one is absolutely the big find for me. So I hope you enjoyed that, and you know, for the people who are starting to collect vinyl, I hope they're not put off by, or I hope you're not put off by you know, the price of vinyl, because they have gone up, especially if you're buying brand new vinyl. But you know, there are bargains to be had, and it's still worth, you know, popping into a thrift shop just to have a look, because you just don't know, you never know. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again.